right, we're going to work on teaching children with autism how to tie their shoes. The first thing that we want to do is place the shoe in front of the learner like this. You want to use two different colors of laces. So I chose red and yellow because they're very different. And I'm going to put the shoe in front of the learner, and now you can model. You could do hand over hand, and you can verbally prompt any of these steps. So I'm going to go with a model prompt, for example, and a verbal explanation of what I'm doing. I do want to fade the verbal prompt because I don't want the learner to be reliant on it, but I do want them to have it as something that they can use as they're going through it. And you can simplify the language or use a sentence depending on the learner. So the first thing that I want to do is teach the learner to pick up each lace in each hand, okay? So you can tell them pick up the laces. That's the first step. The next step would be to also teach the child where to hold it. If I hold it all the way down here, it might be harder to maneuver versus if I hold it more in the middle, then I have a little bit more control. So I'm going to tell them pick up the laces, and I may prompt to where I want them to have it or to stop, okay? Next, I'm going to tell the learner to cross the red lace under the yellow. So I'm going to cross over, and then the yellow will be on top. So red, so here's my yellow, red under, okay? So now I have an X. So again, you can let the learner know, like, look at the X, and they can see the X from where they're positioned. Again, in the camera version here, it's a little bit harder to see, but from their angle, they would be able to see it a little bit better. So red under yellow, and then I'm going to prompt the learner to let go of the laces, and they're going to have to now switch their hands so that the yellow one now is in their right hand while the red is in their left hand. Now I'm going to prompt the learner to red into yellow. Okay, so if you see here, I'm kind of tucking it into like the yellow, and then I'm going to have the learner pull, okay, the laces. So again, you could say pull the laces, or it's just pull. So now I have my first cross right there. Next, I'm going to have the learner wrap the laces on their index finger. So this is the start to my little bunnies, as you'll see. So wrap lace on index finger, and then put your thumb and middle finger, pinch. So now I have my two little bunny ears. Index fingers out, cross, red bunny ear under, pinch. And again, if the learner is more advanced, you could tell them which fingers they're pinching with, pardon me. So with your index finger and thumb, pinch, with your index finger and thumb, pinch, and then pull. And that's how you tie your shoe. Now, after doing these steps, the next step and the final step would really be to change the laces to one color and see if the learner is able to do it. Now, remember, what I would do is really stay at each step until the learner has mastered it. So the first step might be just to pick up the laces at the right position. So it might be, if they do it over here, it might be not good enough. You need it to be more in the middle. So pick up the laces, stop. Okay, pick up the laces, stop. And again, you want to model this of how to pick them up, not to pick them up from here potentially, because that might be more challenging, to pick it up right from where the shoe is. Red under, yellow over if you wanted, and then red into the yellow, pull, wrap around index, pinch, index out, cross, red under, pinch, pinch, pull. Okay, now again, on each stage, you might stay there for a long time depending on your learner. You might stay at this stage for, a couple of weeks. It might be a couple of days depending on the learner.